Coming up this week on the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime, more on the Kurt Angle situation. What has he had to say about the situation surrounding his arrest this past week? On a preview of WWE Summerslam, your emails, news on Don West's new role in TNA, and TNA's big news from the past week. Pro Wrestling Report starts right now.
Number one since 1998 on television, ESPN Radio, and the World Wide Web, this is the Pro Wrestling Report. With your hosts, the man they call Meathead, Frank Cosentino, and Damian Nelson. Professional wrestling news, opinion, and information from fans for fans.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report. Damian Nelson, the man they call Meathead, and David Hero here with you for Friday, August what is it today, the 20th? Sounds good. We'll go with that.
21st.
2009. It's PWR Primetime. Thank you very much for tuning in. Gentlemen, we have a lot of topics to cover today, including a preview of WWE SummerSlam coming up Sunday night on pay-per-view. We're also going to go with the 2-minute drill on 2 topics, and we've got to start, of course, with the big controversy in TNA wrestling right now. Not the Jeff Jarrett, Kurt Angle thing, but the Kurt Angle situation from his arrest this past weekend. Let's backtrack and give you a summary of what has happened since that arrest on Saturday and leading up to that arrest on Saturday. Kurt Angle was arrested in a suburban area of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, for violating an order of protection and also driving on a suspended license stemming from an earlier DUI charge. He did spend 9 hours...
Which he was found not guilty of.
But was arrested for HGH.
He spent 9 hours in jail and was released and was able to perform at TNA Hard Justice this past Sunday on pay-per-view. And also, as Dave Hero said, he did have a drug in his vehicle, human growth hormone. He says it is prescribed. However, that has not yet been confirmed. And we did find out that the other party, the person who sought this order of protection, was former TNA knockout Raka Khan. Kurt Angle is going to be in court in September and October. Kurt Angle has since said that he has evidence that shows he is innocent as it pertains to this situation, with surveillance footage from his home, and also more of the, obviously, the information on the prescription for the drug that he had. Now, I did a little research, gentlemen, on HGH, the human growth hormone. It's very rare for an adult to be prescribed that drug. Very rare.
For a normal adult, but an athlete. A little more common.
It is rare for an adult, period, to be prescribed that drug. It is for children mostly, based off the information I was able to find. Now, it is not impossible that an adult is prescribed that. However, it is a little fishy, especially given Kurt's prior problems, by his own admission, with prescription drug abuse. So, we talked about this at length this past Monday night on the ESPN radio show. But, gentlemen, given the last few days and the coverage that either has or has not been there of this situation, we'll start with you, Dave Hero, because you had some very pointed things to say, specifically comparing this situation to that of the situation that led to the tragedy of Chris Benoit.
Absolutely. What I was saying when I said Kurt Angle could be Chris Benoit Part 2 wasn't saying he was going to kill anybody, but the fact is that when it shows up on all the MSNBC, Fox News, CNN, when I talk about Kurt Angle being arrested for drugs and the protection order, right away Chris Benoit will be the sexy thing to compare it to. And that's what I meant when I said Kurt Angle would be Chris Benoit Part 2, open up that whole can of worms all over again because of the violence, that Raka Khan said was, against her, as well as finding the HGH, which technically it's a steroid. So,
it's part of a steroid family, but it is.
So
we've seen over the course
So is that
of
the
last...
retraction that we goofed about on Sunday that's going to fall between the weather and sports?
no, there's no retraction.
Okay.
I mean, I'll stand by. I've talked to other people in the industry, and I said, hey, this is Chris Benoit Part 2. And they all agreed with me. So
The story's not over yet. However, it has been encouraging that over the course of the last week, we have not seen that comparison necessarily made. But at the same time, there's a lot going on in the professional wrestling world, and I venture to say that because Kurt Angle is aligned with TNA wrestling, it is less of a story than if he were still aligned with WWE. So a lot of the media outlets, while they have picked up on it, have not made that comparison as starkly as you may have speculated it would be made, as I may have speculated it would be made. But the chance was and is certainly still there, because there could be coverage of the court date. There could be coverage of more information that may come out later, especially if this guy doesn't have a legal prescription for this stuff. That's going to be a huge problem.
you know what? Kurt Angle can thank Brett Favre.
Go Vikings!
We promised in the pre-tape, at
I
least
didn't
in the
promise a
phone
damn
call,
thing.
that we had to make this Favre free.
Wow.
The fact that you're angry about
No,
Brett
no,
Favre-
I'm
You're
not
hot
angry
about it,
about
too.
Brett Favre. I'm hot. I'm angry about, as Damian Nelson has put on this very program over
This
and over, the wall to wall. He is now in the drive-through. He has landed, and it's wood pickles, ladies and
Why do
gentlemen.
these
Wood
teams let
pickles.
him
Far free.
Why do these teams let him mess them around so much?
All I said is that Kurt Angle can spank Brett
What was
Favre.
Favre on? He was on painkillers, right? That he had a
Vicodin.
little problem with.
MVP. More Vicodin, please. That's not the other guy on Raw, but yeah.
The big story, which broke on Wednesday with Kurt Angle doing an interview in Pittsburgh on radio, was that he feels that he will be completely exonerated of these charges, and he has evidence to support that Raka Khan, who is not the most stable of people in the world, is certainly trying to set him up. He says that the reason he was found near the
I'm
Starbucks,
sorry. The bitch set me up.
the reason he was found at the Starbucks near where she was is he was looking for a hotel because the previous night, which he would not address, by the way, he had been kicked out of his home, said that when the police ask him to leave his house, he's just going to leave. That statement there doesn't make much sense to me because it's his house.
No, not at all. You've
First
apparently
one to the phone wins.
not only the first one to the phone, the female almost always will win.
It's his house.
But if she
You-
says,
obviously
if she
you don't
says
know.
I don't
she's
beat
living
women.
there, then they'd say, okay, Kurt, you got to go.
Well, he also said that he had been trying to break things off with her for a while and had
Or
told
about a
her that
minute.
night that things were not going to work out. I think he started with Raka, Tranisha. We need to talk.
Baby, it's not you. It's me.
I wonder if he did give her the "it's not you, it's me." But anyways, that complete. It's starting to make a lot of sense
You
from
know
Kurt
what? A
Angle's
lot
standpoint.
of things are going to come out now about Raka Khan. I mean, think about it. She's been a cancer in the locker room back when she was in developmental for WWE. She's been a cancer in the locker room in TNA.
Lost Roxy Laveau her job.
She's got issues. And I think Kurt...
Got
knows
an
best.
issue.
Wants to
Use
cancel
the
his
tissue.
subscription.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
Meathead, your take on things that have developed
Oh.
since Sunday,
No,
rather, with this story.
My take
Not
of the
Favre, the Kurt Angle story.
my take of the whole thing is the same take that I had Sunday night when we did the radio show on 540 ESPN. The man hasn't been convicted of anything.
Public
you have
opinion.
in the United States of America, there is a judicial system that we use. You can convict the
Yeah, it
man.
worked real well with OJ, didn't it?
Well, OJ apparently, had the right lawyer. Johnny Cochran knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
He
Somebody
spawned a
had Jackie
character by the
Childs.
name of Jackie Childs. By the way, that's a Seinfeld reference for those that don't get
I
that.
gotcha.
So
Bring
my
those
opinion
movies.
hasn't changed. Until the man is proven guilty, he's not guilty.
He doesn't be proven.
But here's a question, though, and that is a valid point. He does have to go through the judicial process, and we'll see what happens with that. I'm not sure how things are going to turn out, especially as it pertains specifically to the driving while license is suspended.
That's guilty. He's guilty there. He's 100% guilty. If found, operating a motor vehicle while on suspension, somebody, that knows a little something about that, he's
Right.
guilty. No, this guy.
And the drug charges, again, if that prescription is not found to be legal, then he's got a problem. If it's found to be legal, I think that's the end of the judicial process, but then the question is raised as to whether or not he is abusing those prescribed
No,
drugs.
the judicial process does not end there because, again, if operating while under a suspended
He paid
license.
by the hour.
No, for the drugs, it ends there. If they
No,
determine that this
it's
was
not
a
what you
prescribed...
said.
Yes, it
You
completely
said the
is what it-
judicial process ends.
On that
You
issue.
may have made an assumption that that's where it ended. Get your facts
It
straight.
ends on the
I may
drug
not have all
issue.
these notes here,
It
but
ends
they're
on
right
the
here.
drug issue if it is determined that there was a legal prescription. However, from there, if it is determined he is abusing that prescription, that is a whole different
Who
story
determines the
beyond,
abuse?
beyond the judicial
Oh.
process.
They have people that determine that.
Okay.
Because they'll see how many prescriptions you've gotten over X number of months. or
And then they're
years or
raiding your
whatnot.
office in Las Vegas and Houston.
Yeah,
Mmm.
could be interesting. You gotta wonder if this is the same doctor that's
Provided Orton and the others from
a few
WWE.
other guys, yeah. Because it's a big old, good old boy network.
Oh, don't get that started again, because that was a whole nother issue.
So I can't talk about fun. Can't talk about the good old boy network. All right.
We
It
can
was
talk about
boys.
anything. Hey, this show is about opinion. And we're not going to mold
And
ours.
sensationalizing, as I brought up on Sunday. But
You explain yourself, though. How is it sensationalized?
because here we're talking about a man, and again, you talk about the two courts. The
There's a court
judicial
of public opinion,
and the public opinion.
which we
and
have
what
a
you were
stack
doing,
of emails here
and what you were
regarding
doing was pushing the fact that this man was guilty of beating a
that. I
woman.
never said he was guilty.
No, you were pushing that. You said
No, I didn't.
No, play the tape back.
Yeah, play
Because
it back.
I've played
How
it
did I
back
say
myself.
that?
I've played it
I
back
said he
myself.
was arrested.
Said he was arrested, so that meant he was guilty. Listen to your words.
You have no idea what you're talking about.
I do
never
have
said
an idea.
that.
How
I
is
never
it
said that.
possible that on this very show I'm the only one
Because
that
you're delusional.
I'm not delusional.
It's not what was said. I never said the man was guilty. I said he was arrested. He violated the order
So
of
click
protection.
on the Max Sports portion. I think it's over here.
He
and then don't
violated
play
the order
other
of protection.
video.
He was arrested for that. You challenged whether or not the order of protection was valid. I said it didn't matter. He violated it. He was arrested.
No, the
Doesn't
only
matter.
point that he violated was specifically driving after suspension.
But he was
And
the police were called because he violated the order of protection.
Valid or not?
Assumed that he violated.
They issued it. It doesn't make a difference. It was
It does
issued.
make a difference.
He violated
Let's just
that
go
order
on.
of protection.
there
we go. We're out of
Thank
tape.
you for conceding.
No, I don't
That's
concede. We're
Al
just going to
Gore
run
took
out of
longer.
tape.
Winner, winner. Chicken dinner.
Winner, chicken dinner, that door right
I
there.
never said. If you want to show me if Cal the intern, if he can cue it up, I'll be glad to admit I was wrong if I said that. I never said he was
Let's
guilty. I
pause
said
for
he
the
was
break
arrested.
where the audio comes in.
No, I never said that. I did not say that Kurt Angle was guilty of those charges.
But here's the thing. Other people have said they're not surprised it happened.
That's
we've
the
got-
public opinion again. They're
Right.
not judicial
No, it's
system
people
either.
that
But you know what, though?
are in the know.
Unfortunately, in this country, that court is sometimes more important than the actual judicial
Not
process.
to me.
I said sometimes in
You know
this
what?
country.
This man may want to wear an S on his chest someday. I wear an S on my chest, and I stand up for the truth. All right, so I was trying to.
Leave
Are
Ryan
you seeking
Killings
the
out
truth?
of this. Jeez.
Where is the truth seeker?
I don't know, but I missed that guy.
I wonder where the wig is. We've got a lot of your emails about that situation, and we're going to get to those just after we go through the 2-minute drill. And quite frankly, guys, TNA has made some changes over the last few weeks, specifically that being Don West is out from the broadcast table.
Obviously unrelated to everything else that's going on.
And Taz is in. Taz, the new color commentator on TNA Impact.
Let me ask you this question. Bigger chair for Don West or Taz?
Don West is taller.
Taz got the orange chair.
But bigger chair for Taz or Don West?
I'm sure it's bigger.
Do the arms go
He's
out?
getting paid more.
Okay, do the arms go out for Taz or do they go out for West?
There's no arms on the chair.
Meathead, your thoughts on Taz now accompanying Mike today on TNA broadcast.
I
Don
can't-
West, who had been there for 7 years since the company was
Since the inception.
since the inception of the company, now replaced, promoted, put into a role dealing with merchandise and the sales aspect of the company, which quite frankly they need, and that's where
That's
his
his specialty.
that's where he came from. But your thoughts on that replacement?
I can't give a really in-depth thought on it because I haven't heard Tat. Can I finish? Can I finish? Larry,
Give it
can I
a
finish?
thought.
I cannot give an in-depth thought on it because I haven't heard Taz do commentary with Mike Tenay yet. Have you heard it?
No.
Have you heard it?
Heard it last night.
No, you didn't. So we haven't, as of this taping, heard the in-depth commentary from Taz.
It's going
Don-
to sound the same as when he's on SmackDown.
No, it's not. It's going to
I
sound
thought him
different.
and Cole were a good team. I was never the biggest fan of Taz, though. I said it on this very program, especially towards the end. Yes, the chemistry does matter, but Taz, as his skills as we know them from his SmackDown days as a commentator, do you think it'll translate well to TNA?
Possibly.
Dave Hero.
I think it will because it's going to bring fans in. Hey, that's the guy we saw on SmackDown.
They won't see him
Well, they'll see him.
for 12 seconds.
They'll still see him. They'll recognize the voice.
Is it worth it? I don't know how much they're
You know
paying
what?
him,
I don't
but
like
is it worth it?
I don't like it because it's kind of like putting an NWO guy behind the desk. Now they got a Mafia guy who's going to be the heel for all the commentary.
But then they have to make him a heel, and bringing him in with Joe sort of does that, and so him and Tanay can play off of each other.
I guess. It'll be
He
interesting.
wasn't a real heel when he was in commentary in WWE.
No.
No,
The
but
only
I'm
time he
saying
was
is
a
he's
heel in
now.
WWE.
Yeah.
He's a heel now in TNA. It's going to be interesting. You know, it'll be a good fit. It'll take some getting used to because Tanay is so dry.
Mhm.
It's hard to play off him at times.
That's why Don West was better at his job than you guys realize.
TNA has renewed their deal with Spike TV for a total of 3 years. TNA Impact, the highest rated show on Spike TV regularly. 3 years now they have extended that deal, and it also includes 10 annual specials, 1 hour specials on the network.
That's
Have
a
your
lot.
thoughts?
It's unfortunate that they call them specials. Hopefully they can still tweak it in there and maybe get some spotlight, type shows. Be it knockouts, be it X Division. We'll showcase the X Division.
And all
next
those
week.
things have been talked about.
Well, now that they've brought in a knockouts tag team division,
All of a sudden, yeah.
they may give
Next
an
week.
hour-long show to the knockouts on occasion.
Though, Journalism 101, a special event is no longer special when you overuse it. Seeing an hour show devoted to the knockouts, does it make them less special? Does it take the exclusivity
1 hour
out of it?
for the year, that 1 extra hour.
Okay, you get a knockout special event on Spike, or you get the WrestleMania 25 special event on NBC.
Which is 1 hour.
Here's what I think they should do with it. They should do a regular show, something that people will get familiar with and get used to watching. Maybe they use it for pay-per-view previews on Sunday, which is a point that was made a couple of weeks ago. Maybe it's the Heat reincarnate and use that opportunity to hype their shows on the pay-per-views. Or maybe they do make a separate X Division show. Or, as they have said, or as Jeremy Borash has said, they want Spin Cycle on air. They've done a pilot for Spin Cycle, and I'm not sure how well that would translate as far as the casual viewer goes. It's good
Maybe
where
like
it
a
is
TNT
now.
kind of thing.
Ooh. Lord
Tuesday
Alfred
night.
Hayes.
Yeah.
He's no longer available, correct?
No.
He's passed on.
He's got the Future Endeavor Club.
Well, it's a long endeavor for him. But anyways, quick 2 minutes on each of those items. Let's go now to interactive. Guys, we have a lot of emails, which is why we did an interactive yesterday, and we'll be doing a Q&A episode yesterday. We'll be doing another one coming up early next week to answer all your emails. But let's go to the ones we're going to address on this show this week right now. We'll start with this one, which comes from Gary from across the pond in Manchester, England.
Home of the Red Devils.
I've been loving TNA Impact recently. I know to prefer one show over another is to be called a mark, but I really do personally prefer it to WWE. Anyway, TNA has been building new talent recently, like Alyssa Flash and Sarita, who have been doing great female matches on Impact. I love the beautiful people. As a team, the Beekeeper suit with the pink ribbon was funny and in character for Angelina Love. However, I think they have been building people like Hernandez, Styles, Morgan, and Eric Young. So I think the Mafia is actually doing the job it was meant to do, and people are interested in the TNA locker room fight back against the Mafia and the World Elite. I am interested in TNA and feel that the new guys will be over if they continue like this, as I feel this is building to something.
So what you're saying is TNA is building stars.
That's what Gary from Manchester says.
That's what Meathead from Sunday said.
He, however, provided more names than one.
I know. But I used one as an example,
Who do you think they've built the most so far?
i.e.
Besides giving somebody new ring gear and new music, who have they built?
Probably have to go with a combination of Morgan and
Don't say
See, that's
Styles.
different.
You can't
Well,
say
but
AJ Styles.
You
he's
can though,
already
because they sort of
established.
No, you
relaunched
can't.
them. Because once they came on Spike TV, nobody knew who these people were, and they had to reintroduce these characters. I think they faltered a bit with AJ Styles initially, with Eric Young initially. Don't fire Eric. But I think now
Prince
they're being
AJ
thrust.
wasn't in the main event
It was
mix?
funny, but it was well,
Yeah.
yeah, but were they
AJ Styles
building
has
that
been a main
character?
eventer since the inception of TNA.
Correct.
Even when he was an X Division champion, he was still a main event guy.
Correct. But the new viewers on Spike TV had no clue who AJ Styles was.
And they've been, since they got to Spike TV, putting AJ up there. He's up there. He's already there.
I think they've
Those
done
are
a
the
good
names I
job
would
with
say.
Matt Morgan. I
Mhm.
think he's going to grow now in the next couple weeks.
Awesome
feuding with the
Kong has been
Mafia.
huge as far as a build. They
Well,
built her
she's
from scratch.
Awesome Kong's build is huge.
But
Angelina Love,
How
they built
could
her
you
from
screw up
scratch.
Awesome Kong, though?
Let her
Well,
fall out of her gimmick. when
Lately,
she
I
fell
think
out of
they-
her costume.
Lately, I think they have been a little because she's no longer a monster. Maybe instead of Nash, it should be her and Abyss.
Poor Kevin Nash.
Sam Sabiri. I think WWE is trying to make their tag team division better. I mean, the Hardys reformed pretty much last week. When Edge comes back, Edge and Christian will hopefully reform. DX reformed, and they have these tag teams already.
No one cares about DX.
Big Show and Y2J, the Hart Dynasty, DX, The Legacy, William Regal and Paul Burchill,
Why? Because they're British?
Crime Time, and the Hardys. A bit of a
You
stretch
know,
there, Sam
I think
Sabiri.
you're wrong about DX.
No,
You and
I
may
know
not
I'm
care,
wrong. I know I'm wrong.
But there's a lot of kids
That do
are
care.
going nuts
I know,
about DX.
I know, and
The
I
intern
hate
Cal
it.
loves DX.
He
understand.
loves
I
DX.
hate
yeah.
it.
We have a
He
chat
knows
about
things
that
now.
too. Yes, he does know things.
Donald Weiner. You know, the only thing missing from Kurt Angle's wacky, wild weekend is the fact that it did not take place in a trailer park. Please tell me the future of TNA is not in jeopardy because 2 of its veterans cannot act like adults. Because from my understanding, the veterans are supposed to set an example for the younger talent. The only way out of this and more recent crap is to keep business first. Because if we, the fans, have to suffer any more on account of personal issues, they should just market their product with wife beaters and mullets, see Cody Deaner, or it's
Peter's
all,
a stud.
or it's all just a work and I bought into it.
Peter's a stud.
That's not a work. I mean, why would anybody want to drag themselves through all
Through the
that?
police, yeah.
Yeah. No, not at all.
Chris Hammers, it's safe to say that Hard Justice was far superior to Victory Road. I felt the opening contest was the highlight of the night, which it normally is with TNA pay-per-views. Elijah Burke's first showing in TNA was well done despite
Pope.
not winning the match, although I am greatly looking forward to Christopher Daniels versus Samoa Joe, which I hope happens at Bound for Glory. Amazing Red stole the show for me. I had to rewatch several moves he did during the match, especially the Shining Wizard Spike Hurricanrana. Nash versus Foley was better than expected, and the blood really added to the match. Expected Sting to win the title, but was rooting for Morgan. I'm still expecting to see Sting versus AJ Styles at BFG for the World Championship. That email from Chris Hammers.
I don't think Sting and AJ is going to sell many tickets out in California.
No.
It's got to be.
If it were
Kurt
Sting and
Angle.
Ultimate Warrior, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, when they
The
were the
Dingo
tag team.
Warrior.
When they were the
Maybe
tag
a
team out
dingo
there.
ate your baby.
That's Seinfeld, by the way.
Joshua Cavazos sends this in. I was wondering what your thoughts are on TNA's decision to leave the belt on Angle. Do they have any idea what kind of bad publicity is hurting their company? Because their champion got arrested for quite a few charges, and he's the champion, the face of the company. What has possessed TNA to keep the belt on Angle? I guess the message is, get in trouble, but don't worry, you'll only get a slap on the hand.
Here's my
Dave,
theory on
please
that.
answer
right
that.
now. Well, here's my theory as to why they probably kept the belt on him. Kurt probably sat down with Dixie and Russo and everybody says, "Hey, listen, it's
I
not
was
what
in
it
that
is."
meeting.
Well, you were in
After
catering,
catering,
too.
yeah.
And he probably said, "Hey, I got the video. This happened. That happened." They got to have some faith in their guy. You know,
Because he's the, as Dave is now
Well,
coined,
he's the face
face
of
of
the
the
company.
company.
He is. There's
Remember, 3 sides to every story.
oh,
Your side, my side, and the truth.
you guys just can't keep him out of this, can you? Leave Ron Killings out of this. He wasn't
hey,
there.
Pretty Ricky has got a new job down the road.
Yes. No, I mean,
Delicious.
you know, I first when I heard about the whole thing, I was quick to judge because of what I had heard and the history of it. But now if you think about it, okay, keep the belt on them, just try to keep things as normal as possible until more things come out.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Spoiler alert. Whoop, whoop, whoop. According to the spoilers, for the second week of tapings, I didn't see Angle's name in there once.
Hmm.
Did not see his name in there once. Does that mean he's off
I think he
TV
did.
for the week?
I think he's in the main.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
no, he wasn't
tag
in the
match.
main.
He was
Tag
on last
match, I
night's
believe.
main event.
Next week.
Next week's last
I
night.
believe it was in a tag main.
But again, how
Cal?
many segments does he get?
We don't know what's
Well, but
backstage.
they got to keep him off of TV so they don't have the whole crowd booing at him and HGHing
Hissing.
him.
Well,
yeah.
he is the heel.
But that's heel.
You're talking about X-Pac heat.
Yeah, absolutely. That's Pac heat.
Jarrett heat from the beginning of TNA through. Because he had real hate heat.
The next email comes from Russell Blood. I tried watching old WCW tapes on YouTube, but it doesn't do it for me. I would rather see it on television like it once was in the mid-90s and early 2000s. I was wondering if you heard anything on WCW re-airing their episodes. It would be good money for WWE, especially in these tough times.
Well,
Could you read the last part there after the bracket?
Oh, here it
and
comes.
for Damien's sake, a message to Meathead. WCW is a defunct wrestling organization bought out by WWE in 2001.
Thank you.
You know, if you want to watch WCW stuff on Tuesday, the death of WCW on DVD.
The rise
Yeah, but that's
and
just
fall.
clips according to WWE.
But that's going to be all the good stuff.
But all I want to watch is episode to episode to
Oh,
episode,
it's
like
called
AWA on ESPN
WWE
Classic.
Classics.
No, but they still show you what
24/7.
they want to show you.
Oh yeah, they show.
I want
you get
someone
nitros
else-
on there.
You're gonna see what really happened.
I think they burned.
I
all the
watched
Thunder
what
tapes.
really happened. I was there for that too.
Why would you want to live it twice?
Because it was better than you give it credit for. Dave Hero watched it. I watched it.
Oh, I watched it.
I watched the first hour when it was 3 hours.
We gotta talk about it.
Waiting for Raw. Thank you very much for those emails. Remember, you can send them to comments at pwrshow.com. We'll have another edition of Q&A coming up early next week, Monday or Tuesday, at
Let's do
pwrshow.com.
Tuesday.
Hmm?
Tuesday.
Tuesday sounds good for
Yeah,
you? Let's
that
do it
works.
Tuesday.
Man, it's setting the schedule now.
Well, Frank's not here. We don't have a marketing director this week.
Talk to
Somebody's
the
gotta fill
intern.
it.
I mean, he can do it.
WWE Summerfest is this Sunday night on pay-per-view. Who's headlining on the Miller stage?
I don't know.
I think it's DX.
I think it is DX.
Summerslam this Sunday night on pay-per-view. Let's go down the matches, and gentlemen, each of you pick a choice as to who may go over. That's just a new term.
Go over or win?
Because I don't know anything about wrestling.
Because
They gotta
there's a
go over.
difference.
No, they gotta get over. They're gonna go over.
For the purposes of this conversation, go over will mean win. MVP versus Jack.
Swagger!
Your thoughts, Dave Hero?
I'm a big Jack Swagger fan, and I think it's his time.
No, Triple H is in DX.
Oh, yeah, but that
It's
is
my
his
time, y'all. Here comes trouble.
How funny was Jillian on Monday Night Raw doing the DX
Break
thing?
it down!
And here's the thing. And here's why WWE is a superior television product. to
Whoa,
TNA.
they've never fed you.
You saw how long they stuck with that Freddie Prinze thing. They stuck with it. You got the chance to absorb it after Orton attacked him. The Jillian thing, when she was doing the DX theme, instead of like just a little few seconds of it, she just kept going. And it was good TV.
As Alicia Fox is just staring at her, like, what the heck is going on
Oh,
here?
trust me, we were staring at Alicia Fox.
Did you pick?
No, I didn't
Oh,
pick
yeah,
yet.
he screamed Swagger. You missed that?
That was sure. Kane
I
versus
didn't pick! Swagger! There you
Okay.
go.
Kane versus the Great Khali.
Who cares?
Dave?
Boy, you gotta think the Great Khali's gonna go over on this one.
Nope.
You just said you didn't care. You lost your chance.
Cody Rhodes and Ted.
Thank you, because I'm sorry to interrupt, because that's how I've wanted to vote on some, and he still makes me pick.
Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase team up to form Legacy, going up against the reformed D-Generation X.
I unfortunately have to see this match because others care.
It's all part of being a broadcast journalist.
DX rolls.
Do they get rickrolled?
No.
I don't think they roll, because they gotta make Legacy look good.
Doesn't that mean you're
No,
in
they
drugs?
no.
They gotta
They've
make 'em
got to
look
make
like they
it look
belong.
good. Dave, you've been talking about this for months. They're
Legacy
not
looked
gonna.
good on Raw this past Monday night because they
That's
owned
their-
DX.
know
that's their look
That
good.
was brilliant. That was the best booking they've done with Legacy in a long time.
Mhm.
That
Nobody
was-
expected
that's
And weren't
their
you
look
waiting
good.
during that whole angle, though, for DX to come and make the triumphant return
and no comeback
and dominate? Yeah.
That was awesome.
No,
Well
that's their look good. That's it. There's your shot, kid. That's it. DX rolls all over them.
I wouldn't be surprised though if Shawn Michaels lays down for Legacy. He's not a full-time wrestler anymore,
He's a full-time chef kicking
and
kids.
they could use the angle that he hasn't been in the ring since WrestleMania. Shawn Michaels, a screw job finish. I'm gonna go with Legacy.
Jericho versus Crime Time for the Unified Tag Team Championship.
Unfortunately for Prime Time, they also get rolled.
Yeah, I don't see them. Yeah, it's a Jarrett show.
Rey Mysterio versus Dolph Ziggler.
You did put Diggler, didn't you?
I did. Rey Mysterio versus Dolph Ziggler
I think it's
for the
time for a
Intercontinental
new.
Championship.
I think it's time for a new IC champion in Dolph Ziggler.
Well, wouldn't you want to be Rey and have the title and be on vacation?
Be in Mexico while you're still the champ.
Mexico.
I'm Caucasian this week.
I think I'm gonna go with Dolph Ziggler also on this one. I think it's time that he gets a belt, and he's done great. He's got Maria. He'll have the belt. He's done well.
Nikki! Scared you, didn't I? Christian versus William Regal for the ECW Championship.
Again, who cares?
I think this will be the best match on the show.
It'll be a great wrestling match. But do you care about either one of them going into it?
You know, here's an interesting
What's
analysis
the build to it?
to discuss. Christian, since coming over back to WWE from TNA, we talked about how he was getting crapped on by being sent to ECW, but is he or is he not carrying that brand right now? And remember,
who's really saying that he's getting buried? He's the
No,
champion,
initially.
So
Initially.
There's another version
Initially.
of being buried. He's not being used very well.
He's not
But
being
he's
used
never-
right, but he's not being
But
buried.
he's never gonna
because
be-
he's always on TV every week.
But he's never going to be on ECW.
He's on
never
TV?
going to be one of the major champions. He's never going to be in a major angle.
That you're aware of.
Well, he's not going to be. Look
How
at
do
him.
you know?
Not for a while.
He's not going to be.
That's what they did to Booker T
he-
for years. That's what they did to Chris Jericho. That's what they did to Chris Jericho for years.
Jericho.
Make him put in his time, his dues.
time.
Right now, if you look, Christian has not increased ECW ratings at all.
Nobody
It's still
can.
the same.
Nobody can.
So they buried him. They put him on a show that no one's watching.
But Christian, much like a lot of the mid-sized guys, I don't think you're ever going to see him push to the top of the card.
Shawn Michaels.
he needs to
Wow,
stay.
Michaels. I mean, that's a whole different thing.
Evan Bourne's being pushed. And he's not a mid-sized guy.
Look what he
Evan
does,
Bourne's
though.
never going to be on.
Rey Mysterio.
He does Rey Mysterio type moves. That's why he's as popular as he is.
Okay, I'm just saying.
ECW title.
I hate to keep doing the Swiss cheese move on everything you say, but
No, you don't.
yes, I do.
The WWE Championship will be on the line. When for the first time ever, Randy Orton faces John Cena one-on-one.
You know, I've been waiting for this match for about 3 years because I've never seen it before. I can't wait to see Randy Orton and John
One-on-one.
Cena for the first time one-on-one.
Notice how they make it a point to make that point every chance they get when they talk about this match.
One-on-one.
It's the first
For
time
the
in
first
how many
time,
years?
one-on-one.
Yeah.
One-on-one. Hey, Michael Cole said it, so it must be true.
They wrestled one-on-one at SummerSlam 07.
He said first time.
Well, Cole vintagely got it wrong.
Dave Harrell.
Randy Orton.
Here's my revelation of the week, ladies and gentlemen. In watching WWE Raw this past Monday night, Randy Orton in his hometown of St. Louis got a huge pop, as did Evan Bourne, because why do people mark out for the hometown?
I know that guy. He
Yeah.
lives probably on the same street that I live.
And you know the secret, when they have the jobbers in the ring, which you only see on ECW, where they build from if they wanted to be a face?
There was a
From
guy.
wherever they
There was a
are.
guy during ECW's run here that always was from your hometown, and he traveled across the country. He was from your hometown. I forget who it
but
was.
Randy
Tom
Orton,
Delaney.
No, ECW. They're not WWE's ECW. I mean the real ECW.
Randy Orton should be a star in a movie where he is a psychopathic serial killer or something of that nature, because
he
he
would
is
be-
that damn good.
The Kurt Angle movie.
Ooh,
Sorry, me, Dad.
wow.
Ladies and
Sorry,
gentlemen,
me, Dad.
David Hero.
That hurt me.
David Hero.
What? That was
Just
that's-
kidding,
You do
just
watch
kidding.
Fox News, don't you?
I do watch.
By the
yes.
way, we need to talk a little
You've
bit
been
about
on
Freddie
Raleigh
Prinze
training.
Jr.
You know, hold on a second. First of all,
Sure.
I shouldn't joke, but it was funny.
It is funny. Don't apologize.
No,
Carter, don't
Kurt
apologize.
Angle is not a psycho killer. He's just very focused. Let's just say that.
That's good.
Living his gimmick, as we've
He's
said.
very focused.
Oh.
He believes he's the best. He'll tell you that.
There's nothing wrong
And
with
you know what? He
believing
is
you're the
the
best. It's just when you live it outside of what you're supposed to be doing for a living.
But you know what though? That's just how they're wired right now. When you're told,
I get
you know,
how you're wired
yeah.
too.
I mean, a lot of those guys when they leave, and they go outside of the ring or the arena, they still live that gimmick.
You gotta break it off at some point.
But when
You
you're
gotta be the guy picking up the groceries. Gotta be the guy. I'm not done. You gotta be the guy that picks up the peas out of the frozen pea section.
You made me wait for that.
Yeah.
It's a
No, but-
TLC match for the World Heavyweight Championship. At this point, it is CM Punk versus Jeff Hardy. There are rumors, though, that John Morrison may be added to that matchup.
Why, to make you
I
believe
hope
that it's not going to be Jeff Hardy losing?
Oh, Jeff Hardy is losing.
What I'm saying is to make you believe that it's not Jeff Hardy losing, with the pin.
Where's his 1 foot, Jeff Hardy's?
It's out the door. They're both out the door. This is his last match. He's done. And you know what? I love how they're building it up that CM Punk is going to beat Jeff Hardy in his match, and they're already saying it's going to be the last match Jeff Hardy's ever going to have.
They have been saying that. They did start
Who's
saying
they?
that last week on WWE. They started saying it
CM
last
Punk.
week on SmackDown, yeah. Or, I'm sorry, this week on SmackDown.
But like I said, and I hate to go back to it, I need to talk about Freddie Prinze Jr. on Raw as the host.
Let's go back to Freddie Prinze.
I gotta
We're
ask.
talking about
I got- no,
Jeff
no.
Hardy and CM
You
Punk.
asked about Randy Orton, and you talk about Freddie Prinze and about delivery of WWE products. I gotta ask you the question: how believable is Freddie Prinze supposed to be when he stands up to Randy Orton? I
thought
wasn't
it was
buying
great.
that.
I
No,
thought he
I
did a
thought it
great
was
job.
crap.
That was one of the best.
I thought it was a hot.
Wait. But you can accept Jeremy Piven jumping off the top
No,
rope on John Cena.
I never said that.
You know?
You did praise that.
No, I praised that he got up and did something physical, but I didn't accept it.
Well, look where Freddie Prinze did it from
You-
the top of the ramp.
Do you draw circles in your sleep? Because you talk in
No,
them.
no, I don't talk to him.
Rewind the tape.
Blizzard Brawl.
No, I'm retired. I'm
Retired after one match. We gotta find footage of that.
I'm
match.
retired after one match.
SummerSlam is this Sunday on pay-per-view. We'll have
You know what?
exclusive coverage.
And good for CM Punk. He's finally
He's
gonna
being
win.
built strong.
He's being built very strong. Look for CM Punk and Matt Hardy to keep going afterwards.
Just to stay away from the fake bake. Oh, you look like an orange.
We'll have complete coverage, total coverage of WWE SummerSlam this Sunday at PWRshow.com, and we'll be live on ESPN Radio this Monday night. with
Monday,
full
Monday,
wrap-up
Monday.
of WWE's SummerSlam. Be sure to drop the show to your iPod by subscribing to us on iTunes. Get all the episodes, including the daily PWR Express updates and breaking news as it happens for free on iTunes. Subscribe using the links at pwrshow.com. Gentlemen, that is a show. For the man they call Meathead, for the cause, and Dave Hero, this is Damian Nelson saying thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you Monday on 540 ESPN for the Pro Wrestling Report.